All right, so hi, I'm Evan with POS Portal, and today, like I said, we're going to run through the Docusign integration into P2. So I'm the product marketing manager at POS Portal. And just a little bit about POS Portal, and then, like I said, we'll kind of circle back around and show you the product a little bit deeper and the P2 product itself. So, and I think today, guys, this should last about 20 minutes. So, POS Portal, a lot of you might have known us for the on the terminal side. We've been around for quite a long time doing the credit card terminals, distributing terminals for probably most of you or some of you that are on the call today. We also have, in the last couple of years, we decided to take everything we learned from years and years of building heavy enterprise CRM systems for a few niche clients, and we decided to move it on to the Salesforce.com or the Force.com platform. Now, some of the reasons we wanted to move things onto the Force.com platform was to allow us to have things like cloud accessibility, more flexibility, access to your data anywhere. As you can see on the screen, things like having access to your data on your iPad. So there's quite a bit of benefits for us taking everything that we learned with our older kind of enterprise level CRM system and moving it into the cloud and partnering with Salesforce to really deliver a really powerful, very, very kind of a end-to-end solution specific for the merchant services industry. So just a little bit about us at POS Portal and some of our facilities. We're definitely not a fly-by-night company. We've been around for almost 12 years. We have 3 facilities. We have our headquarters here in Sacramento, where we're speaking to you today. We also have our West operations in Sacramento, where we ship and deploy credit card terminals. And then we have our East operations in Louisville, Kentucky. And so by having 2 different facilities on either side of the country, it really gives us flexibility in shipping, terminals, distribution. We have a great reach because we can cover most of the country with our 2 strategically located facilities. So I'm going to go ahead now and unmute Brian to kind of speak a little bit to Docusign. I left a little slide here with some facts about Docusign, but I'm going to go ahead and unmute Brian now so he can add a little bit of detail. So give me just a second while I unmute you. Brian, are you there?
I'm here. Thanks, Evan.
Yep.
Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, you're good.
Super. So thanks for the introduction, and thanks for letting me join you today. Docusign's really excited to be partnered with POS Portal. We've become the industry's most widely used electronic signature platform with over 23 million unique users. That number is growing by over 60,000 new users each day. We're also leading the industry in security. We're the only e-sign provider to warrant compliance with federal e-sign law, certified and recertified ISO 27001 compliance, successfully performed SSA 16 audits on our data centers, our people, our processes, trustee certified, PCI compliant, et cetera, et cetera. So we're certainly the industry's most secure solution as well. More people are choosing DocuSign because it's the easiest to use, most secure, and most widely adopted platform. And as everybody will see here today, it's very tightly integrated with POS Portal, so it's really easy to use within the solution. I think my contact information is included at the end of the presentation, so please, anybody, if you have further questions, reach out at the end of the webinar. Thank you very much.
Perfect. Thank you, Brian. Appreciate it. I'm going to go ahead and mute you again here, and we'll unmute you again at the end. So just to add a little bit more detail to what Brian said too, guys, POS Portal is we're so convinced that DocuSign is such a great product that we actually use it here internally. So, when you purchase software from us at POS Portal, we will actually have you complete the signature process using DocuSign as well. So not only do we preach that it's a great product, but we also use it ourselves. So I think that speaks a lot to how great of a product DocuSign is and how easy it is to complete the sales process. So there's a contact info. I'm going to leave this up, guys, for just a second. We're going to jump now into the P2 product itself, and I'll come back and leave this slide back up again towards the end so we have the opportunity to get this information if you need it. So bear with me here for just a second while I exit out and go into P2 product. Okay, so here we are, guys. So P2 was built on top of Salesforce, or what's called the Force.com platform. By building on top of the Force.com platform, we were able to take Salesforce, which is an excellent, very powerful product, but we were able to tailor it very specific to the merchant services industry. And what we did is we built a lot of custom objects. There were certain things that Salesforce kind of offered out of the box that didn't really work or behave the way that we wanted. So we went and built our own. And so you'll see some of our own custom features with things like the inbox here, which is our own kind of design that we laid inside of Salesforce, as well as things like deals and our online apps and some of the things I'm going to show you now. So I'm going to take just a few minutes, and I want to kind of give you I want to preface or kind of give you the little bit of frame of reference for what we're talking about with the DocuSign signature and how that works. So inside of Salesforce or P2, right, we have what's called merchants. Now merchants are technically an account record, and once you have a merchant, you have statuses of lead, opportunity, or active merchant. I'm going to jump into an active opportunity. This would be a merchant that I'm actively selling processing to. So here I am, Nice Restaurant, right, is the name of the merchant. Now, a Nice Restaurant is a merchant that I've been selling to. I've been grabbing information, collecting data about them, phone number, fax, billing address. I have primary contact information, right? I also have other things like notes. I have contact data about the specific owner of the merchant, attachments, tickets, all sorts of other stuff. For anybody that's interested in seeing a deeper presentation of what we've done with Salesforce to make P2 such a great product, we'll be happy to set up a personal demo and show you everything that we've done today and kind of how we've really added a lot of value to Salesforce and how we've integrated with partners like Docusign to really deliver a really great end-to-end experience for our users. So what we did to kind of streamline the sales process for ISOs and agents out there is we came up with a concept of deals. Now, what deals allow you to do is to say, all right, I'm going to go ahead and sell to the merchant today. I'm going to sell them a product, but you might sell multiple products to the merchant, and you might sell them in different time frames or different sales cycles. So we wanted to allow you to create a deal for a product, and you could do it for any product, really. Maybe you're selling a loyalty program, an ATM, cash advance deal, whatever. But we're going to go ahead and do a merchant processing deal today. Now, you can see that it's automatically populated the merchant's name for me, right? A Nice Restaurant. I'm going to go ahead and click Save. And now it's going to take me into the deal screen. Now, this is where you're going to do most of your work when you sell to the merchant. If you notice, we got fields to fill in things like probable monthly revenue, forecasted close date, right? We also give you a visual representation of the sales process. Now, this is pretty key because most people, first of all, really enjoy having kind of a visual representation of what they're doing, right? Instead of just working with a lot of text and things like that, we wanted to give you this graphical experience so that as your sales reps are moving deals from one stage to the next, as they're doing things like collecting the merchant statement, doing the analysis, returning the proposal, everything ends up with a unique time date and stamp so that you know specifically when it moved to that stage, who moved it there, right? You can also report on these types of things. So by doing the deal and having these unique stages, you could run reports that allow you to see all your merchants that are in the proposal stage that have a forecasted monthly revenue, right, or probable monthly revenue of maybe $100 and a forecasted close date of, say, the end of the month. So that's really great information that you can report on. So let's go ahead and jump into some DocuSign stuff. So let's say that now I've been selling to the merchant, I've done the proposal, and I'm going to go ahead and move the deal into the application stage. Now, once I've moved the deal into the application stage, I'm ready to go ahead and get an application out to the merchant. Now, obviously, you could just send them a paper application, and that'll work just fine. But in P2, we've made it much easier. We've given the ability to come down, click on New Online Application. And once you click on the new online application, what you're able to do is actually select the application you want to send the data to. Now, some of our clients have the opportunity to send their merchant data to several different apps, right? Maybe you're working with multiple processors. Maybe you have an ATM app you want to be able to populate with this merchant data. But you can click on whatever app you'd like to populate the data with, and you can see that we're going to go ahead and create a merchant application. Now, here on the merchant application, we pulled in some information out of the CRM. And for most of these fields, if it makes sense for us to have this data stored back in P2, we'll go ahead and pull it out of P2 and populate this data here onto the app. So what I want to do now is I'm going to go ahead and make an app. Now that it's been made, I want to go ahead and key in a few fields that I know are required. And then I'm going to save the app, and then we'll show you how to get the signature completed with DocuSign. So I'm going to go ahead and put the sales office in as POS Portal. Let's go ahead and do the sales rep name. I'm Evan, so I'm just going to put Evan Manning in here. And sales ID, put a couple things in. Now, I know most of you are saying if I'm doing the app, I probably don't have the merchant number, right? So this is just an example of how we can create fields that have control rules on them that say this field is required. So you can't save it or you can't do anything with the app unless these fields are entered in. Now we know in the real world you're probably not going to know the merchant number, so it's okay, but just pretend like you know it. We're going to go ahead and put in a phone number. And then what we want to do is, here you have the opportunity now to go ahead and generate a merchant application. Now we have several other things we can do with the app. We don't have time to really just get into those things today. But again, like I said, if you're interested in seeing other features and functions that P2 is capable with our online application we're showing here today, let us know and we'll be happy to set up a personal demo and show you how all this stuff works. So I'm going to go ahead now and click on Generate Merchant Application. So what the Generate Merchant Application button is doing is it's basically taking a snapshot of where the application is today, and it's going to go ahead and send it into a PDF document and attach it here under Attachments. So if you notice here that we have not only the online app that we just created, and it's in the status of data entry, but we've also created a PDF version of the application. So what I can do now that I have this PDF version is I'm going to go ahead and send this application to the merchant using DocuSign. So up here at the top, we have the Send with DocuSign button. And now once I've sent it, it's taken me into the Send with DocuSign screen. I'm going to go ahead and pass it off to Shobit now so he can talk about this DocuSign screen and some of the template features and other things that you're able to do on this screen.
Hello everyone, this is Shobit. I'm part of the product marketing team at POS Portal, and thanks Evan for bringing us to this point. He's always done a great job of explaining how P2 works and how these integrations work. So before I get into the screen and talk about how templates work, just a brief about how we actually integrated with DocuSign. We're using APIs, and all the magic is honestly happening at the back end. As a user, we see the screen, and then it's kind of magic that a PDF is generated. It is sent to the merchant that they can sign, but we're essentially in the back end using APIs between our software and DocuSign's application to bring this feature to you. One important thing to note, since we're using the DocuSign feature, is that to utilize the feature in P2, you will have to set up an account with DocuSign. That is important. So once you've set up the account with DocuSign, you can go into that account and decide and come up with a few templates that you know you will be using while the whole application process is going to work. So mostly in our industry, we'll have ISOs working with 3 or 4 different types of processors. You will know what applications you are going to need most of the times, and it is always advisable for you to go into DocuSign and create a template. Now, when I say create a template, what that means is you are going to let DocuSign know, or the software know, where in the application you want the merchant to sign. Now, we know it has been a problem in the industry where the reps will send out applications to merchants, and the merchants will send back with signatures at the wrong places. And then there is a whole lot of time and effort wasted in going back to the merchant and getting the signatures at the right spot. So a great feature of this integration with DocuSign is that you eliminate the possibility of that happening by creating a template, and you can have as many templates. And as you see here on the screen, when you're doing the process of the application process, you can choose which template you want the integration to use while you're sending the app. And when you do that, you make sure that the merchant will know as he gets the application to sign at exactly the right place. And you will see it in a few moments how that happens. So as I said at the beginning, a few important things to know. To use this feature in P2, you will have to set up an account with DocuSign, and then once you've done that, we suggest you go to DocuSign and create a few templates of the apps you mostly use, so that when you're using the feature in P2, you will have preset templates, and it will make the whole process very easy as you go on adding more merchants to your portfolio. I will bring back Evan in.
Thanks, Shobit. That was some great detail. A couple other things, guys, to point out here when we're on that screen. The templates are a very cool feature. It really opens up flexibility to DocuSign, and we think that it's a great way to really allow you to get as many signatures as you need on the documents that you need to get signed, and really makes, again, the sales process and the electronic signature just so much easier and so much cleaner. Now, a couple features that are available here on this Send with Docusign screen are things like, first of all, you could have multiple documents available for signature. Like Shobit mentioned, you could have multiple templates. You might have other documents like maybe an ACH form or some other setup form, right, that might be available here. You can also have multiple recipients. Now, today what we're going to show you is a way to sign DocuSign directly inside of P2. And we'll show you that in a moment and kind of explain why we did that. But for this example, I'm only going to have one recipient of the documents, and I'll explain that in a moment. Now, you can also have an email message that's configured, with things like, hey, subject of the email. Sometimes it can be set to pull in the name of the agent that's sending you the document. You could have a pre-configured message here if you need to. You can also key it in and have whatever you want here. Envelope settings. These are things like reminders to the signer, right? So you can see here that we have it set for 7 days to remind the signer. Well, that seems like a long time. Maybe you want it to remind them every 2 days. You can also set the envelope to expire. Now, you know as well as I do, guys, that you're sending out these applications with all the pricing already on it. You don't want the merchant to come back to this app 6 months later and be able to open it up and see all the different pricing you might have offered them. So it's important to make sure that this envelope expires in several days. So what I want to do now is, like I said, we have 2 ways to sign the application through DocuSign. Now, the way we've shown on the last few webinars and on all of our recordings on our YouTube channel is we've shown you the kind of simple and what everybody's used to with sending the email to the merchant and then being directed to DocuSign's website to open the application and complete it. And that's great, and we use that a lot, and that's a super powerful tool. But we listen to our market, and a lot of our agents and our ISOs are telling us that they're starting to use tablets and mobile devices, and that they want the ability to complete the signature directly on the spot with the merchant, right? So instead of simply completing this process and then sending the merchant an email, them having to go to their computer, log in, and complete the process, we wanted to make it to where you could simply sign now. So the use case or the example here would be you're sitting in front of the merchant, you've gone through the whole application process, you've completed everything, and now what you're ready to do is the merchant says, well, I'm done, let's sign it now, let's not hold this deal up any longer. The rep wants to get paid and the merchant wants to start processing. So we're going to go ahead and click Sign Now. Sign Now will actually go ahead and launch us into a screen here in just a second while we're loading. So thanks for your patience. So what it's done, guys, is if you notice, I'm still in P2. I'm still on Salesforce's page, right? And you can see all my tabs are still here. But if you notice that I've actually launched Docusign service directly inside of our P2 application. This is super slick, guys. It really makes the process simple because I'm on my iPad right now. I can flip it around and the merchant can go ahead and complete this entire process themselves directly in front of you and make it quick. So if you notice, we've got some messaging that says things like Evan Manning of POS Portal requested you to sign this document. I'm going to go ahead and click on Sign Document. And then I've tagged this particular document so I can go ahead and click Start. It's going to allow me to come down, put my signature in. Now, guys, I've logged into this DocuSign experience several times, so it already knows that I'm Evan and that I want to use this particular signature to represent my signature. If I was new to DocuSign and hadn't logged in previously, it would have asked me to actually, number one, accept some terms and conditions. It also would have asked me to adopt a signature that I believed represented my signature. Now, DocuSign uses some unique numbers, and you can see it's kind of blended in on this signature, but there's actually a number underneath that signature that identifies this as a unique signature that Evan Manning actually signed. Now, it wants the owner, the title here, and I'm actually the owner, so I'm going to go ahead and put the owner in.
And just to add to that point, if you notice, we have the POS Portal logo at the top. Now, the features, P2's CRM, our solution, we're all about giving more power to our customers and more power to your brand. So what you can do is you can go in and instead of the POS Portal logo that you're seeing here in a real life scenario, it could be your logo at the top of your merchant application. And the merchant will know that, hey, there's this reliable company that I'm dealing with. They have their own branding and their apps are more branded. So another additional, but I think a very important feature that P2 and DocuSign give to you.
Perfect. And if you notice, guys, that once I'm done here, I've completed the signature. The application knows that that's the last place I'm signing. I'm going to go ahead and click Confirm Signing. So by doing that, it basically says, hey, you completed the document, you confirmed the signing. Everything's going to go ahead and cycle back onto the deal page. So give us just a second while this loads back up. So it says your document's been complete. We'll go ahead and click Deal, and it's going to actually bring me back onto the deal page, right? And we're going to wait a second. We're going to refresh a couple times, and it should actually bring the signed application back in here and attach it underneath the original PDF that I created. So let me refresh it a couple times, guys. Sometimes my Wi-Fi slows this up, so hopefully we'll get it to come back in on the first refresh. So I don't see it that time. Give me just a second. We'll refresh it a couple more times. So there we go, guys. We got it. So I'm going to go ahead now and click down in the app, and I want to show you what's happened. So now we open up a viewer window. Now because this is a demo, guys, and this isn't a live DocuSign account, we're just using this for strictly demonstration purposes. DocuSign basically stamps on each document, demonstration document only, right? So we know that this really is just a demonstration document to show you how the feature works. Now I'm going to scroll all the way down to the signature page. And there's my signature that I added, Evan Manning, with my title. Now, obviously, if you were using this in the real working world, you might want to have additional pieces of information. Maybe you want them to key in a date, but you can see it automatically filled in the date. Maybe you want other pages with initials or other spots where maybe there's an initial required at the top of a page, right? So several options when you're adding these templates in. You can really decide where the initials and where the signatures need to go. Now I'm going to scroll back up. Let's go ahead and save and close. And it's going to now bring me back into the deal. So now what's going on as a sales rep is I've completed the document or the application process. I've gotten the signature. You can see that we have the original document that we sent to the merchant, including the one with the signature on it, as well as the original online application that we created. So now as a sales rep, I could go ahead and push the deal on to the next stage for Q&A and kind of complete the sales process and my responsibility as a sales rep. So what I'm going to do now, guys, is I want to go ahead and open up for any questions, right? So also you can chat in any questions if you want, and I can answer those from the chat box. I'm going to go ahead and unmute everybody. Remember, first of all, I am recording this, and number two, let's go ahead and make sure that if you have me on speaker, that you've muted your speakerphone so that we don't hear any feedback from behind. So I'm going to go ahead and go down and unmute everybody. If I don't have you already logged in on the phone conversation, I'm going to go ahead and send you the pin anyways, just in case you want to dial in. And remember that you can scroll down on the little control bar on the right where you see your name and information. You can actually chat in questions to us and we can answer those. So I've unmuted everybody, sent some audio pins, and we'll go ahead and leave it open for any chat questions. And if Brian has anything else that he wants to add from DocuSign, we'll go ahead and give him the opportunity to add that in as well.
This is Tom Cooley with Versatalis. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. I have a question. I saw there were two MPAs that were preloaded. Are those the only couple options, or do you have? Can you upload any MPA?
Yeah. So I think you were talking about the templates that we selected.
Or is it about the? Oh yeah, you have. So the DocuSign templates, as I mentioned, you can create as many as you want depending on the products you're selling and the apps you know that you're gonna be using to sell services to your merchants. So yeah, you can have as many templates as you need.
And also the online app where I was showing, and this might have been we were asking too, when I go in to open the online app, I only showed documents for iPayment and First Data. Now, we've done apps for every major processor. It's just in my particular example in this demo today, I'm only showing, the iPayment and the First Data, but we've done NPC, we've done Global, WorldPay, Transfers. I mean, we've done them all. So we could do this same feature with any specific processor's app that you want. It's just in this example, we're only showing them with iPayment and First Data because that happens to be what's built into this specific demo.
Okay, and it would have to be the First Data contract. It couldn't be like an ISO of First Data's contract.
It can be an ISO of First Data, correct. So, what I think is best, Tom, is, yes, you can definitely do whatever app you want. We build each app custom for each one of our clients. So, Tom, I'm gonna make a note to have one of our sales guys, because I think that it will probably benefit you to kind of give you he can definitely give you a little deeper explanation of how we handle the apps and what it takes for us to build them, so you can really understand kind of how we integrate these online apps inside of Salesforce and our P2 product.
Excellent.
Perfect.
Thanks. I didn't mean to take away from everything else, so
yeah,
I
no
appreciate
problem.
it.
No problem at all. Any other questions, guys? So I'm taking that everybody's silence means that we have an incredibly awesome product and very few questions, because we did such a great job answering all the questions. Looks like I have one copying in. Can you cover the fees for the use?
Yes, that's an important question, and we're actually, as we talked about, the fees for using the feature in P2 for the integration. You need to have a P2 account. You need to be a subscriber to our CRM system. And then you will have to set up an account with Docusign. If you can contact Brian at Docusign, he's going to give you more details about what the charges are for their services. And then there are no specific charges from our end to integrate the feature into a P2 user's account.
Yeah, so we don't charge. Guys, once you get your credentials from Docusign, you bring those credentials to us, and we'll go ahead and make sure that all the objects and all the flow that you need inside of P2 is working. And there's no charge from us to set that up. So you just need your Docusign account with your Docusign credentials, and we're ready to go.
Excellent.
Perfect. So I see kind of winding down on the questions, guys, and a couple people leave in. I think Brian and us, our end at POS Portal, will stick around for a few more minutes to make sure there's no other questions. Guys, again, I really appreciate everybody's time and joining us today. Thank you, Brian, for joining us and adding some insight into a little bit more about Docusign. We definitely really appreciate our relationship with you and your time for coming and joining us today. And
I had a couple questions, but I didn't want to take up anybody else's time.
Sure, go ahead. We're here.
Well, so, and I came in a few minutes late, so I apologize if I'm asking questions that maybe you covered up front. And also, I'm newer to the P2 product, so some of my questions are in regards to setting this up or following through and tracking that application. So once the application is signed, what happens from there? Once we receive the Docusign, application back?
Yes.
Is there anything in P2 that needs to be done?
Yeah, a couple great questions. I'll give you the brief answer, but I think it's going to probably benefit you for you to have a conversation with one of our sales reps, just so he can give you a little bit more detail, and we can give you a personal demo if you'd like, so you can see kind of how everything connects together. But once the document comes back into P2, some of our clients are taking that document and they're taking it, they're printing it off to a PDF, and they're keying it into their processor system for approval. We have other clients that we've connected a boarding integration to allow them to take that document that's in the electronic format with the electronic signature and actually push that data and any accompanying documents like a voided check and a business license, all the other required docs. And actually, we have a product that will allow you to push all that data directly into your processor's boarding system without you having to do any duplicate data entry. So for a lot of our clients that use that, that's an incredible time save, because what that allows them to do is once the rep has filled out the app, their back office support person is not keying it in anywhere. They're really just evaluating the app to make sure that it's not missing anything. And then they're clicking a button and actually batching that data into your processor's boarding system. So our system is an end-to-end solution that manages everything from leads and referrals all the way through the sales process, through the application process that we showed you today, all the way through to the QA and kind of the quality assurance of the app with pending tools. And then we have tools for things like I mentioned with boarding integrations. And then we even have tools that allow you to do things like calculate your residuals. So it's a complete solution to help you run your ISO from end to end. So real quick, who is this that asked that question?
It was Tom Cooley.
Tom Cooley. Great. Tom, gotcha.
Yes.
Perfect. So Tom, we're definitely...
Yeah, I'd love to have a conversation.
Oh, perfect. Yeah. So Tom, we're definitely going to have somebody get in touch with you, and I think it probably makes sense for us to do a full demo for you just to show you what everything is capable of in P2. And, you know, we showed you about 5% of it today with the Docusign integration, but there's a whole lot more, and I think there's a lot there that would impress you.
Well, I signed up with Salesforce a long time ago,
Sure.
and basically developed a lot of the tools that we need, you know, to manage our customer database and, you know, follow through on leads. But and it sounds like P2 has done the same thing, but probably with a lot more detail and a lot more integration. So that's right. So basically, I'm really familiar with how Salesforce works and how it functions.
Sure.
So are there 2 subscriptions then required for one for P2 and one for Salesforce?
And Tom, you know, we actually have a contractual relationship to where, you know, you will actually have a relationship with us, but your relationship it'll be with Salesforce, but it's through us. So, you know, we've transferred a lot of clients or migrated a lot of clients off of kind of basic stock Salesforce. We've migrated a lot of clients over to, you know, our version. And, you know, we're good friends. We have a great relationship with Salesforce. So typically what we do is we evaluate kind of when your licenses are going to expire. You know, it takes us sometimes, you know, 2 months or so to get your whole org built out with all of our new objects, our workflows, and everything that we do includes things like email, like workflow triggers, right? We've kind of gotten rid of most of the objects in native Salesforce, like opportunities. We don't use those objects anymore. We've done things like deals to kind of streamline it. We've also built portals for referral partners. You know, so a very, very kind of comprehensive tool. But yes, your relationship would be transferred over. You'd still have a Salesforce login. You'd still have technically Salesforce licenses, but they would be kind of purchased through POS Portal as an ISV, is what kind of how Salesforce looks at us as an independent software vendor.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. This is fantastic. I'd love to talk to somebody.
Perfect. Yep. We'll definitely have somebody follow up with you, Tom. I appreciate it. So I saw a couple questions with Wayne. We're definitely going to get in contact with him. He jumped off. Any other questions from anybody else while we're here? If not, I think we'll go ahead and wrap this up so you guys can get back to selling and we can get back to building a great product. Any other questions from anybody?
No, just looking forward, Evan, to hearing from somebody in sales.
Perfect, Tom. We'll have somebody get in touch with you shortly. Thanks again, Brian. Everybody, appreciate it. I'm going to go ahead and end the webinar today. Hey, guys, if you have any questions, you can follow up with either Brian or Shobit, and their contact info's here. Thanks again, guys, and have a great week leading up to your weekend. Talk to you soon.
Thank you.
The organizer has ended the session.